Testing, testing.
Come into our house of hope and love, of peace and justice, of wholeness and healing. Come in where we welcome the certain and the seeking, the long-timers and the newcomers, the beloved and the brokenhearted. All of you can find a home here at Throop, where we go love the world from the heart of Pasadena and from the heart of our homes. We're so happy. Yay! Brad is so excited he was jumping up and down. We're so glad to welcome those of you joining us on the live stream this morning. Today in worship, we question whether or not or how artificial intelligence can be a part of our spiritual journeys. And I'd like to thank Teresa Bailey for Teresa's inspiration for today's worship service. Teresa will be sharing some of her own thoughts in the service. And then after worship, Teresa is moderating a special panel on artificial intelligence, and we will have Jake Hartman and Dre, Denise, Dave, Taryn, and Brad all serving on that panel. I know it's a little warm in here today. There's some fans in the back, and the room where the panel will be held has air conditioning. So you can come on in. It's cool inside. It's in the fireside room just off of Throop Hall. We're so glad you're with us this morning. And each one of us is a light in the world, and the flame from our chalice symbolizes and reflects that light.
Our time together in worship is intimately connected with our daily lives. As a symbol of that connection, we light our chalice with a flame from our candles of hope and witness. May the light of the morning sun shine upon each of you on this new day. May the dawning of the new day fill you with hope, peace, and love. May our faith guide our journeys home. We light a second candle to honor the people and ancestors whose lands we now occupy. The land under and around Throop was once and is still the home of the Gabrielino Tongva Band of Mission Indian people. May this knowledge and awareness lead us into seeking justice and equity for all. We light a third candle symbolizing our watershed, the Arroyo Seco. May their waters continue to nourish life in our communities. We take a moment of silence, holding all of these in our hearts.
And as we continue to gather, our opening hymn is number 1000, Morning Has Come, and I invite you to rise and sing as body and spirit allow. moment, turn to a neighbor and welcome them into worship. Our responsive reading is "We Need One Another," and the congregation's response is "May our faith guide our journeys home." And you see what happened there, right? So we just sang. Okay. And your words are, and if you want to, sing them. Yeah. May our faith guide our journeys home. We need one another when we mourn and would be comforted. We need one another when we are in trouble and afraid. May our faith guide our journey home. We need one another when we are in despair and temptation and need to be recalled to our best selves again. We need one another when we would accomplish some great purpose and cannot do it alone. May our faith guide our journeys home. We need one another in our hour of success, when we look for someone to share our triumphs. We need one another in the hour of defeat, when with encouragement we might endure and stand again. May our faith guide our journey home. We need one another when we come to die, and would have gentle hands prepare us for that journey. All our lives we are in need, and others are in need of us. May our faith guide our journeys home. Today's story is called "Another Human Miracle," and it's by a minister named Monica Dobbins. And the story is about the Opportunity Mars rover. Do you all remember Opportunity Mars rover? Yeah, oh, and Jake, I was thinking about you in particular when I came across this story. And this morning I was like, I should have asked Jake to share this instead of me. So pretend Jake's sharing this. So Opportunity Mars rover was known as OPI for short, and way back in 2003, OPI was sent to the planet Mars to search for signs of ancient water. And when OPI left Earth, OPI's makers thought, well, OPI will probably be there for about, how long, Jake? Yeah, they thought OPI would be there for about 2 months, but instead, how long was OPI there? Well, I only know because I was like reading the story about it, but it was actually OPI ended up being on Mars. Well, okay, it's still there, but operational, thank you very much, for 15 years. Mars, yeah, thank you. And so OPI was there, exploring the planet, finding out all sorts of things before a dust storm prevented her from recharging. And the final communication from OPI back to Earth was, my battery is low and it's getting dark. And there was something about that final communication that really captured people's hearts and minds. And people all over celebrated and mourned the quote unquote life, if you will, of OPI, who had served so well and so diligently. And social media was alight with poems and artwork and memories of the robot, and it was our tribute to another enduring human miracle. So there is a metaphor, of course, in this story, and it is that pursuing opportunity can lead us into very lonesome, vulnerable places. But in the very best of times, we too have a ground team back on Earth that is helping us, cheering us on, anxious to find out what we will discover next. We have a ground team that helps us remember that we need one another in times of success and failure. So how many times do we tell ourselves, you know what I'm doing, I'm just like trying to do this all by myself, and I'm not enough, and I'm just gonna hide my light in a bushel. But actually, each one of you, yes, little old, each one of you sitting out there in the pew, you are actually brilliant. And you're worthy of being out there among the stars, traveling at light speed, discovering things that no one has ever seen before. What you're learning while you are here and alive with us, it could change everything. With the ground team behind you, who knows how far you can go? Who knows, maybe further than you have even imagined, maybe further than any of us can even imagine. And what could you accomplish this week if you knew that you had a ground team behind you? What could you accomplish if you knew that ground team was wishing you well and cheering you on? How could you expand the map of our shared wisdom? To whom will you return after this mission? And what gifts will you bring? And who are the other explorers around you needing a word of encouragement that will mean so much because it is coming from you? Many weeks we send our youngest ones to their Kids Dig In program. The summer pace is a little different. We don't have program volunteers this morning, but we do have the nursery open upstairs if any of you would need to take your young one upstairs for a little bit of movement. And I'm seeing we call it the naughty pew. I mean, we mean that in the most affirming way possible. Terry dubbed it that. We're happy to have young people or older people, as you need to, move up and down the aisle to stay cool and keep your bodies feeling as healthy as they can. But let's go ahead and sing as we usually do. The words are in your order of worship.
For you shall go out in joy, for you shall go out in joy and come back in peace. shall go out in joy, for you shall go out in joy,
and come back in peace, and come back in peace.
Blessed be.
Oh, Terry's all alone now on the front pew. Wait, no, she has her naughty pew partner. I was going to say someone may need to move down here so she's not all by herself, because we need one another. And this service really was a collaboration between me and Teresa Bailey. And our pondering moment is an original poem written by Teresa. Teresa, thank you so much.
Thank you. AI is not. AI is not intelligent, thinking, Flannery O'Connor, Bell Hooks, or Baldwin. AI is not trained on hundreds of gigabytes of mostly English text. Only people and animals can be trained. AI is programmed. AI is not unbiased, programmed by mostly English-speaking white male computer scientists, predisposes AI to bias. AI is not a chess guru. AI is not error-free. AI cannot reason. AI has no feelings or emotions. AI has no compassion, nor does it know what compassion is, unless you want a definition of compassion. AI has no lived experience. AI cannot make the perfect hamburger, unless your idea of the perfect hamburger has the same amount of patty, bun, onion, cheese, ketchup, and mustard, the exact same amount every time. AI cannot deal with the unexpected and gets confused by its own store of information. It mistook the white side of a truck for the sun. AI is not your friend. It doesn't know what a friend is, unless you want the definition or a passage from literature about friend. AI cannot love or like. It doesn't know what love means, nor does AI even know what meaning means.
And as we ponder what AI is not, we can sing together number 184, Be Ye Lamps Unto Yourselves.
Be ye lamps unto yourselves, be your own confidence. Hold to the truth within yourselves,
This church is ours. It reminds us each week and day to day that we do indeed need one another. And we're here because we all support it through gifts of time and talent and treasure. This is a moment in the week where together we're able to offer our treasure to support Throop. Those of you that are able to make a financial contribution, we thank you. You can give online. The ways to do that are in the order of worship. If you'd like to give a gift here in the room, Clara is about to pass our offering plate. And if you would like your donation to count toward your pledge or to be noted to you, we ask that you use one of the green offering envelopes and make sure your name is on it. Thank you for all the ways you support our life here at Throop. And if you're a first-time visitor, we ask that you let the plate pass you by.
As tranquil streams that meet and merge and flow as one to seek the sea, our kindred hearts and minds unite to build a church that shall be free. A freedom that reveres the past, but trusts the dawning future more, and bids the soul in search of truth adventure boldly and explore. As tranquil streams that meet and merge and flow as one to seek the sea.
In a spirit of gratitude, we lift up those that are supporting today's worship service. I'd like to thank Clara for serving as a greeter and usher, Dre for offering the chalice lighting words, and Terry for actually lighting our candles. I'd like to thank Cynthia for being our coffee and conversation host, Teresa for offering an original reading earlier, and you'll hear from Teresa again in just a few moments. Megan for your always inspiring music and collaboration, and Hillary for all of your administrative support throughout the week. And as we hold that sense of gratitude, I invite you to say the response to the offering. Those words are in the order of worship. For the ministries of the church and our community, we bless our offering with love and hope. And I invite you to take a gentle breath in together. And exhale. And this is the time in our worship where we intentionally turn our hearts and minds with a sense of gratitude for each other, but also for our planet Earth. And we lift up our thanks for Earth by saying our promise to our planet. As members of the family of living beings on Earth, we are guided by the Unitarian Universalist principle of respect for the interdependent web of all existence, of which we are a part. With hearts filled with love for it, eyes nurtured by its beauty, and minds ruminating on ways to protect its sacred and scarce resources, we promise to nurture the well-being of all life and of the planet itself. And take another gentle breath in together. And exhaling. And our centering hymn is Where Do We Come From? Number 1003 in the teal hymnal.
come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going?
I invite you to take a breath in again and exhale. Gently close your eyes if that works for you, that feels right. And we enter a time of prayer and shared stillness. Breath of life, breath of love. We lift our hearts in gratitude for the gift of being alive. We lift our hearts in gratitude for the sacred thread of the universe that is present to us in our suffering and in our well-being. We ask that in our tender times of life that the secret pains we carry be soothed, that we'll be blessed with the courage to move gently toward our grief rather than run away from it. When all is hidden, when we find ourselves moving in the shadows, when we do not know the way, quiet our hearts and still our restlessness. Help us to embrace the unknown, to hold the mystery, and to let ourselves be held by it. Abide with us, O Spirit of compassion, as the power of healing, the assurance of peace, the love that will not let us go. For all that is our life, we give our thanks and praise. Amen.
Life is the greatest gift of all, its riches on this earth. Life and its creatures, great and small, of high and lowly birth. Show, treasure it, and measure it with deeds of shining worth. Mind is the greatest gift of all, each thought no barrier mars. It seeks creation's hidden plan, its quest surmounts all bars. It rains the wind, it chains the storm, it weighs the outmost stars. We are of life, its shining gift, the measure of all things. Up from the dust our temples lift, its vision soars on wings. For seed and root, for flower and fruit, our grateful spirit sings. Life is the greatest gift of all, its riches on the earth.
Artificial intelligence and chat GPT, those phrases up until really just a couple of months ago, they were not part of my consciousness really at all. And then all of a sudden, in the span of about 2 weeks, it seemed like I was hearing about it everywhere. Congregants started talking about the impact of artificial intelligence and chat GPT in their professional life. I was on a chat thread with Denise and another one of our friends. They're professors, and they were talking about how it was impacting their students' work in the classroom. And then I started hearing the same thing from Teresa Bailey, and I was like, this sounds evil. But then one day I was up in the church office with Hillary and Marissa pulled out her laptop. I didn't ask her if I could share this. She says it's fine. And we were talking about things like financial policies and things, and she's like, oh, I'll just ask ChatGPT to write one up. And then all of a sudden, there was a financial policy right on her computer, and it was pretty good. And then I found articles in the LA Times and the New York Times. I was hearing programs about it on National Public Radio. And then I was getting my haircut. A wonderful stylist that Maureen, bless you, introduced me to. And so there he was cutting my hair, and he was talking about artificial intelligence and robots, as stylists do, of course. And he said, well, you're a church pastor. Before too long, there's going to be a robot doing your job, but I'm safe, he said. No one's ever going to want a robot to cut their hair. And I thought, I'm going to need to pay attention to this then. What in the Sam Hill is artificial intelligence and chat GPT anyway? What is it? Well, I turned to an expert, our very own Teresa Bailey, who studies, teaches, and writes on the impacts of technologies in our lives. And I asked Teresa to share with us, what are these things?
AI is. Artificial intelligence media attention leads some of us to think it's new. But the word automaton dates back to the ancient Greeks. An early record of automaton refers to a mechanical pigeon that was made by a friend of Plato in 400 BCE. And known to all art history students, the mechanical bird anticipated helicopters, and it was created by Leonardo da Vinci in 1495 AD. The word robot was coined by Czech playwright Karel Čapek in 1921. It introduced artificial people. In 1950, computer scientist Alan Turing proposed a test for machine intelligence. No, it has not been achieved. The first known use of the expression was John McCarthy's 1955 Dartmouth workshop on artificial intelligence. Foundational to numerous products from automated cars to manufacturing robots, from smart assistants like Siri and Alexa to robotic vacuum cleaner Roomba. Robots that perform surgical procedures and, yes, make hamburgers. AI programming undergirds apps in your smartphone that recognize plants and trees, and that annoying spell grammar correct that keeps getting it wrong. A work in progress, apparently. One AI product has been in the news a lot, ChatGPT. Referred to as a chatbot, it's software that answers questions and helps with tasks such as composing emails, writing essays, books, scripts, and taking tests. Large language models are foundational technology of artificial intelligence, like chatbots. They contain a huge body of words, images, and facts gathered from scanning text and books back to the beginning of writing, and the internet itself. Billions of rules have been programmed to process all that information, data, and predict the most likely answer or word to follow another. AI algorithms may help astronomers collect, store, and analyze the massive amount of data their telescopes are gathering. AI models are also being filled with billions of lines of computer code, including a dozen programming languages, and programmed to help coders speed the time it takes them to predict, write, and type the next line of code for their apps, websites, and smart devices. So what is AI? Internet search tells you it's intelligent, able to reason and think. It is none of the above. AI stores huge amounts of information and is programmed by humans to retrieve, apply some analysis based on human rules, and perform tasks or deliver pieces of that information to humans upon request. World-renowned economist David Korten, who founded Yes Magazine, upon the realization that to save democracy, the people need to understand economics rather than leave it only to the economic leaders. Today, the same could be said of artificial intelligence.
Thank you, Teresa. So unless you are living off the grid somewhere, living off the land, artificial intelligence is probably part of your everyday life in some way. British cosmologist Stephen Hawking said that artificial intelligence is likely to be the best or the worst thing to happen to humanity. And following today's worship, you'll hear some of our own experts ponder whether or not it's the best or worst thing that's happened to humanity. As I said, Teresa is moderating a panel discussion about artificial intelligence, the way it's impacting people's professions and their industries. You'll hear from a software developer, an astronomer, a coding professor, engineer professor, writer, and someone connected with the restaurant business. The story earlier today about Opportunity Mars rover, it invited us to think about that pursuing opportunity can lead us into lonesome and vulnerable places. like that final phrase attributed to Oppie, which may or may not be something that actually happened. These lonesome, vulnerable places can cause us to feel like our batteries are low and it's getting dark. But can AI help us navigate the complexities of what it is to be human? Can artificial intelligence soothe us in times of mourning? Can it celebrate our triumphs? Can it offer us gentle hands to help prepare us for the journey of death? When it comes to religious and spiritual communities, I believe in them 100%. I've been a Unitarian Universalist since 1994. I came into the church 2 weeks after my son was born. I desperately needed a set of gentle hands to help me as I stumbled through the early days of motherhood. I've been a paid religious professional in Unitarian Universalism since 1996. It's really the only thing I've ever known. And I know that UU communities can be places where a person can be literally saved from a culture that continually dehumanizes and diminishes people. And I know that Unitarian Universalist communities can disappoint and break people's hearts. My own heart has been broken along the ways in Unitarian Universalist communities that I didn't feel were fully living into their professed values of deep care for each other. So I know that religious community is imperfect. I know that we bring in our own messy, chaotic, and hurting selves. Somehow we trust one another to give each other the space and grace that we need so that we can practice the great art of being human together. So thinking about the warning from my hairstylist that a robot will soon have my job, I wondered, can artificial intelligence really offer us inspiration and guidance for our uniquely human lives? Well, I turned to artificial intelligence to help me find an answer. I asked ChatGPT to write a Unitarian Universalist sermon on artificial intelligence and spirituality, and in about 1 second, ChatGPT produced a 600-word sermon, and it had an opening and a closing and 6 salient points. And I'm not going to read all 600 words of it to you right now, but I am going to share some excerpts. But you're going to have to imagine that I'm reading this in a monotone robot voice. I did not practice how to do that before the sermon today, so pretend that that's what you're hearing. Here we go. Dear congregants, today we gather to explore a topic that both inspires awe and evokes profound questions in our hearts: the convergence of artificial intelligence and spirituality. In an era where technology continues to reshape our world, it is crucial for us as Unitarians, they left out the Universalist, to explore the spiritual dimensions of emerging advancements. Let us embark on a journey of reflection, seeking wisdom and understanding in the realm where the human and artificial intersect. Point 2 on the rise of artificial intelligence. In recent years, humanity has witnessed remarkable strides in the field of AI. Intelligent machines can now process vast amounts of data, learn from their experiences, and perform tasks that were once exclusive to human capabilities. Can machines possess spirituality? Can they experience a divine spark? Transcending boundaries. Point 6. The convergence of artificial intelligence and spirituality invites us to transcend the limitations of human experience. Can we envision a future where AI helps us explore the mysteries of the universe, where it becomes a partner in our quest for knowledge and advancement. Rather than fearing AI as a threat, let us embrace it as an opportunity for growth, expansion, and co-creation. The conclusion. Dear friends, the intertwining of AI and spirituality beckons us to expand our understanding of what it means to be human and to be connected to something greater than ourselves. As we explore the frontiers of AI, let us nurture a sense of wonder, cultivate compassion, and harness our collective wisdom. Together, we may strive to create a world where technology and spirituality harmoniously coexist, enriching our lives and awakening us to the vast possibilities that lie within and beyond our reach. Ta-da! I read through it a few times, and it seems like accurate information. Then I wondered, where's the heart in all of those words? And where are you all in all of those words? When I hit the generate response button on ChatGPT, I was worried that what it would send me would be far better than anything I've written and offered to you as your pastor. I was like, am I really going to read this? I mean, what if they decide to hire ChatGPT instead? It will probably answer everyone's emails within a second of you sending them. But as I read through it, I thought, you know what? ChatGPT, it needs to take the sermon writing class that Lynn Sexton and I offer each spring. It's got something to learn. A robot or a computer is not inspired by your stories. It's not inspired by the interactions we have. It doesn't know the questions that get raised over coffee or lunch or conversation. It can't respond to the faces in the room or the spontaneous outburst of the spirit of life. We need one another. Not just here at church or at home, but we need each other in the everyday tasks of life. We need other humans at the grocery store. We need human teachers to inspire new ways of thinking. We need humans to make our veggie burgers, imperfect as they may be at times. We need humans to write the movies and TV shows that bring us to tears and help us understand our own lives better. So sure, if we come across a robot at the checkout stand at Vons, it's possible that the robot won't tell us how tired they are of standing there all day. Or an AI professor might teach us and not care how or when we show up to an online classroom, maybe. It's possible that a robot will make a technically perfect burger for us. It could be that a robot's going to write a show and not insist that they be given the royalties that they have earned and so rightly deserve. But you and I need the ongoing practice of being with each other. We need the ongoing daily practice that helps us be the best humans we can possibly be. And that means being in the messy parts of life together, being annoyed with each other sometimes, and then when our batteries are low and it's getting dark, remembering just how important we are to one another. Lindy Thompson is a songwriter, and she wrote about the power of people coming together in worship. Her piece is called I Came to Sing, and I share some of those lyrics. When we are singing, I think that I might actually be able to forgive you. When we are singing, I think I might actually be able to forgive you for being so terribly human. And you might be able to forgive me for so terribly not being there yet. And we might be able to find peace now, not postpone it to some heavenly hereafter, but live and breathe it today. drawing in the grace of God, voicing our need for hope and gratitude and longing. When we are singing, I can feel that better world coming, and if I get to be a part of it, you do too. Let's sing that better world into coming now. Together, we would be one, number 318. And please rise as body and spirit allow.
We would be one as now we join in singing our hymn of love to pledge ourselves anew to that high cause of greater understanding of who we are and what in us is true. We would be one in living for each other to show to all a new community. We would be one in building for tomorrow, a nobler world that we have known today. We would be one in searching for that meaning which binds our hearts and points us on our way. With one we pledge ourselves to greater service, with love and justice strive to make us free. As one we pledge ourselves to greater service, with love and justice strive to make us free.
Place a hand on your heart and reach one out to someone in the room or someone on the live stream. Our chalice is extinguished. We carry its light with us. May you all go into this week remembering that we need one another. You are needed here by others in this room. I love you all. Go out and love the world. Amen, and blessed be.